we learned that the wave function for the homonuclear diatomic, such as H2, can be expressed as this. This is the coordinate of two nucleus. It's a product of electronic wave function and the nuclear wave function. And nuclear wave function can be expressed as a translational wave function and vibrational wave function and rotational wave function. And rotational wave function has two contour number, J and Mj. And we have spin. Spin also has contour number, I and Mi. This is our result. And the proton has spin contour number, I equal 1 over 2. I equal 1 over 2. So we can define total spin contour number I. And we learned that the I can have two values, 0 or 1. 1 represents triple state. 0 means single state. So as I seen in the diagram, when I visualize single state and triple state, it looks like this. Single state looks like this. Spin 1 is in this direction, spin 2 is in this direction. The angle between two spin is 180 degrees. This state is contour number I equal 0. This state is called singular. And triple state looks like this. One spin up, the other spin is down. The angle between two spins is approximately 70 degrees. The contour number for this state is I equal 1. This state is called triple state. And we have another triple state in which both spin is up spin. Both spin is up spin. This is I. So this is I equal 1. This is also triple state. And the other triple state is both spin is down spin. And given I, we can define Mi. The contour number for this state is J. The contour number for this diagram for Mi equal 1. It is minus 1. This state is called triple state. This state is called single state. When I express the wave function, when I express the diagram as a wave function, it can be expressed as this one. For triple state, this one, alpha 1 and alpha 2. This state can be expressed as this wave function, delta 1 and delta 2. And this function can be expressed as this one, alpha 1 delta 2 plus alpha 2 delta 1. For single state, the wave function looks like this, alpha 1 delta 2 minus alpha 2 delta 1. I'm going to check the symmetry of this function. When I swapping coordinate 1 and 2, this function does not change. So this function is symmetric. Also this function, when I swapping coordinate 1 and 2, the function does not change. So this function is symmetric. This function is also symmetric. So the symmetry of triplet function is symmetric. But the symmetry of singular function is anti-symmetric because when I swap in coordinate 1 and 2, it changes sign. So this function is anti-symmetric. So it is in the table. This is a summary. So this function has a symmetry. This function can be either classified as singlet and triplet. The symmetry of triplet is symmetric. Symmetry of this function, singlet function, is anti-symmetric. This is my result. And consider this function. The rotational function is exactly the same as the atomic orbital. It is in the shown on the left. The shape of this function is exactly like the angular part of wave function. So when I draw this wave function, for j equal 1, it looks like p orbital. When j equal 2, it looks like d orbital. And when I draw j equal 0 orbital, it exactly looks like s orbital. So the symmetry of this orbital is symmetric. Symmetry of this orbital is anti-symmetric. Symmetry of this orbital is symmetric. So the symmetry of this rotational wave function depends on j. When contour number is even number, the symmetry is symmetric. When the contour number j is odd, it is asymmetric. So it is summarized in the table. So this is our summarization. So we review the symmetry of this one. This function can be classified as either j equal even and j equal odd. What is the symmetry of this function with j equal even? It is symmetric. The wave function for j equal odd is anti-symmetric. This is our result. This function can be classified as either j equal even and j equal odd. This spin function can be classified as either singlet function and triplet function. The symmetry of triplet function is symmetric. Symmetry of singlet function is anti-symmetric. This is our result. Now, consider this molecule. Now I'm gonna consider Now consider the H2 molecule. In its hydrogen atom is fermion. As you know, the wave function that represents fermion must be anti-symmetric. This is the requirement the fundamental mechanics assumes. So this function must be anti-symmetric. This function must be anti-symmetric. But when you swapping particle 1 and particle 2, this coordinate does not change. This coordinate does not change. So the symmetry of this overall function are determined by this part. The product of rotational wave function and spin wave function determines the symmetry of this function because this function does not change. And the symmetry of this function can be classified as either this one. Now, this function must be anti-symmetric because the nucleus hydrogen is fermion. So, this wave function when the rotational state is J is even, this rotational state must be coupled with antisymmetric single state, right? Symmetric wave function must pair with antisymmetric single state to produce antisymmetric wave function. And antisymmetric rotational state in which J is odd must pair with symmetric triple state. This is our result. So when I draw rotational state, this even number rotational state must couple with antisymmetric single state. This one must pair with single state. And this one, rotational state with odd J number, paired with triple state, which is antisymmetric. So this one couples with triple state. This one couples with single state. This one couples with triple state. This is our result. So in Raman transition, J equal 0, make a transition to J equal 2. J equal 1, make a transition to J equal 3. Now I'm going to compare the intensity of this transition with the intensity of this transition. And this transition is 3 times larger than this one. Why? Because this level pairs with triple state. Triple states are consist of 3 states. So more population is in the J equal 1. So this transition is 3 times larger than this transition. So the transition with odd number transition is more intense than the transition with even number transition for fermion. This is our first result. And then next page, this is the case for hydrogen molecule, which is fermion. And next, nitrogen molecule. The nitrogen molecule consists of nitrogen 14. Nitrogen 14 is boson. So wave function which represent boson must be symmetric. Now then, wave function rotational state with even J must pair with triple state, right? Because symmetric wave function must pair with symmetric wave function to give symmetric total wave function. And the rotational state with odd number J, which is antisymmetric, must pairs with antisymmetric single state for nitrogen molecule. So in this diagram, in nitrogen molecule, J equal 0 state must couple with triple state, and J equal 1 state couples with single state for nitrogen molecule. So now the transition change. In this molecule, J equal 0 state more intense compared to the transition from J equal 1, because J equal 1 state are now pairs with triple state. So the transition with even number J are more intense than the odd number J. So this is our result. Now, final page. Consider CO2. Now, the oxygen is oxygen 16. Oxygen 16 is a special type of boson. The spin quantum number of boson, oxygen, is 0. Nitrogen is boson, oxygen is boson, but it is special type because I equals 0. It means that oxygen does not have spin. It means that oxygen doesn't have spin function. It doesn't have spin function. It doesn't have. So oxygen molecule only have rotational wave function. This is the only wave function that determines the symmetry of the total wave function. This is the key point. For this molecule, CO2, in which oxygen carries no spin function, the symmetry is only determined by this function because oxygen atom does not have spin. But as I said before, even number J is symmetric, odd number of J anti-symmetric. But still, this oxygen atom is boson. So the wave function that represents this molecule must be symmetric. This function, this requirement is still applies. But this rotational state is anti-symmetric. This rotational state does not satisfy this condition. So in oxygen molecule, this state does not exist. This is the spectrum for N2 molecule. But in oxygen molecule, this state cannot satisfy this requirement because spin does not exist. So in oxygen, this line disappears. Understand? So in Raman spectrum, this is the handout I distributed yesterday. This is the Raman spectrum of nitrogen and oxygen molecule. In nitrogen molecule, we can see alternating pattern. Large, small, right? In the nitrogen Raman spectrum, this is ray line. We can see alternating pattern, small, large, because this stage transition is large, intensity of this transition is small. So in N2 Raman spectrum, we see alternating pattern. This is N2. But in the below, we show Raman spectrum. There are no alternating pattern. There are no alternating pattern because this line disappears because in quantum mechanically this J equal 1 state does not exist. Understand? So be careful. In Raman spectrum, the spacing between adjacent peak in Raman spectrum is 4b, as you know, because in Raman spectrum, selection rule is J equal plus minus 2. So the spacing between two peaks is 4b. But in oxygen, the spacing between two peaks is not 4b. It is 8b. Do you understand? Not 4b, 8b, because in oxygen Raman spectrum, this line disappears. So in oxygen Raman spectrum, you must be careful that the peak-to-peak spacing must be 8b. This is our final result. But the disappearance of this state is not an artifact of spectroscopic technique. The disappearance of this state is a consequence of quantum mechanics symmetry. The requirement that the wave function must have definite symmetry. For this molecule, must have symmetric wave function. The symmetric condition comes from fundamentals of quantum mechanics. It does not come from the spectroscopic technique. So this is a Raman spectrum. When we measure the IR spectrum, also this state does not exist. So this is the Raman case. But when we measure the IR spectrum, it also applies. So this is CO2 molecule. Let's see, I want to measure the distance between CO bond lengths. I want to determine CO bond length. So I want to measure IR spectrum. To determine the CO bond length. So spectrum looks like this. This is a typical IR spectrum of linear molecule, and you measure the distance, peak-to-peak distance. What is the distance to peak-to-peak distance? In normal IR spectrum, peak-to-peak distance was, do you remember? 2b, right? In HCl spectrum, we analyze the IR spectrum to measure the HCl distance. We set the peak-to-peak distance to 2b. But in this case, it is not 2b. It must be 4b for CO2 molecule. Why? In CO2 molecule, this level does not exist also. This level does not exist. So when we analyze IR spectrum, we also must be careful that peak-to-peak spacing must be set to be 4b, not 2b. In Raman spectrum, the peak-to-peak distance must be 8b, not 4b, because the even number rotational line does not exist. Okay. Final term exam will cover up to this point. This is the end of the final term exam coverage. So actually, as I said yesterday, this topic is very, very difficult topic. It is actually, I think, physical chemistry subject rather than general chemistry of subject. So it is very difficult. Okay. Next week, we will go through practice exam. We'll take a practice exam in preparation for final exam. Okay, do you have question today? So I will finish early.